Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I'm, of course, Nick McDaniel, and as always, I am joined by Muddy Myron.
Good morning again, folks. Welcome to your mother's favorite podcast. How is everyone doing today?
We're doing great, Myron.
I always love to hear from the crowd. Thank you, crowd. And what do you have in
We
store?
always love it when
everyone?
Cartman chimes out. I always like it when Cartman watches the show. That's always a great thing.
And our
for
live
us.
studio audience.
Yeah, if you're an ad-free shows member over in the live chat room, you can. There's Cartman.
We tried that, but people just kept asking us questions.
It was
about,
always all. Yeah. We had a lot of that crazy BS stuff or whatever. But hey, look, Myron, before we start this week's show, we usually like stall for a minute. Then we just like go right for the punch and we tell you like, hey man, you should really sign up for us over at youtube.com. Check out the YouTube channel, man. We're telling you that's the best place to find us. youtube.com, Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast, Tapped Out Podcast Network. Like the page, the number 1. 2, subscribe to the page. 3, turn your notifications on. 4, become a member if you want, because Myron, there's a lot of cool stuff there, man. And look, it's over on the Patreon page as well. We silently still have that over at Patreon, Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast, Tapped Out Podcast Network. Cool articles, man. I was telling you about them. Like, there was a great one I thought that came out this week. The writer's the best. The Midnight Riders kicking out content. I'm glad, because the writing thing was never going to happen with me, and I told you that. I don't like writing, and I'm not a fan of it, so I just don't do it.
Yes.
But articles like, I'll tell you the conversation in a second. It was great wrestling venues from the 80s and, from 1980 to 1990.
That's a beautiful article.
Essentially the 80s. Not going to spoil the list. If you want to know what the list is, you got to be behind the paywall. There's some great articles coming out over the next week. Things like greatest court case movies. And what I love is he's doing pockets. We talked about this off air. Like, it's not of all time, it's pockets. To me, that actually makes you think a little more, because there's movies that you're like, oh, or teams or whatever in the article. Because he's also doing one coming out later this week where it's the greatest Braves by decade.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to see this list. I've seen it obviously because I've scheduled it for the release. But it's got the greatest Brave. And that's the thing. Everybody says it's easy. It's easy. No. It's the greatest Brave of the 80s, the Brave of the 90s. 2000 and 2010s, that kind of thing. So, but you only get one per decade.
Question for you: what kind of content we got? Sports, wrestling,
movies? This was the question I was going to ponder to you. Is that, like, I'm sitting here thinking about this and going like, look, I know we're the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast, but hey, I'm into comic books. You're into Funkos. We love movies. We love sports. Like, we have talked about this in the past, is it this is the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. That will always be the same. But is it the Tapped Out Podcast Network, where we're talking about, are we going to do shows where it's about sports and articles about sports and movies and comics and just a little bit of everything to bring it in? And I said, look, I get it. This is the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. We just happen to be on the Tapped Out Podcast Network.
Oh, we can turn it into something like Gawker, where we have a little something of everything. We have a network for baseball. We have a network for gossip. We have a network for movies.
I give you the show about thermoses.
I'm not going to do the show on thermoses.
All right. Well, I tried to help you, man. I was trying to give you some content to work with.
I'm not working with that content.
Well, I will tell you some, Myron. Content that's working. Let's dive right into it, Myron.
Yes.
The Bloodline.
We talk about this shit every week, Nick. It's the first thing we always talk about.
Yeah, it's we joked about this. Going forward, the headline's always the first topic. What happened in the Bloodline story this week?
Why would we keep talking about this shit?
Because the shit's working.
Oh, it drew 3 million people at its peak on Smackdown last week when they did the tribal court.
So here's the funny thing is sometimes that people get confused because of the timelines. We record on Sundays. So like the final numbers aren't always in for Smackdown. That we got the overnights. Like we got the overnights, just so you know, hey, they were down a little bit. It was 2.3 the week before. Now this past Friday, it was like 2.1's the overnights. Okay, so they'll bump up a little bit because that's kind of what generally happens on the numbers. Generally, not always. So it's kind of hard. Sometimes we're talking about shit that's a wraparound, but people are invested. I mean, literally. It's funny. I think here's a metric that I want to challenge, and I'm curious, and I want to know, tappedoutpod@gmail.com. I would love to hear anybody and everybody that's listening's opinion on this. Next week, it's Fox is preempting, and it's going to be on Fox Sports 1, correct?
Yes, that's true.
What if, here's the massive what if. By the way, just for the record, I don't know that it's going to. This is why I'm so intrigued by it. What if next week on Fox Sports 1, if the viewership comes in over 1 million something, because everybody's like, oh my God, you're going to say they're going to fall from like 2.3 to 1. Yes, because question number one, who the fuck has Fox Sports 1? Like, that's not a top tier channel, by the way. If people don't realize,
I'm going to have to find it to set my, I guess, I don't know.
Do you even have it?
I have YouTube TV. I don't know if I have it. I don't know how I'm supposed to set my DVR. Will it find Smackdown and DVR?
No. You're going to have to find the channel see if you have it. That's the crazy thing.
Shit. What's going to be on Fox instead?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm sure they've told, and I'm like, I don't know.
To preempt this shit. I mean,
yeah, you have it. So I just looked it up for you.
Okay.
Well, so you do
I'll
have
take care of getting that recorded. But I'm assuming there's something important to people who are not wrestling people. And once again, those people are much more important than us. Blah, blah,
well,
blah.
It's probably not that. It's probably more like something they make more money on. Like they paid more for. Let's look and see. Preamps.
I'm trying to get
this is
there.
By the way, guys, this is great podcasting.
Yes, we should have. Y'all, we spent 4 hours mainly with me breaking my microphones and all. That's why I have this USB microphone. One thing I will tell you, the first rule of podcasting is have 2 of everything you need. 2 hosts, 2 microphones of each kind, 2 sets of headphones, 2 audio interfaces, 2 webcams.
Well, here we go. See, I told you guys, and I apologize. This is why this is magic, because my reaction here in Myron's is going to be magic. You probably already knew because you're good wrestling fans, and you already knew what Fox was bumping them for. Myron, they are being preempted for the FIFA Women's World Cup. That's what they're getting bumped to Fox Sports 1 for. Because the World Cup, look, in the grand scheme of things, let me ask you a question. What happens if that thing draws like 1 million and that? By the way, it's not. It's going to crush because women's soccer's huge. Massive.
And other parts of the world.
Huge. Sorry, it's bad.
I ain't going into this.
All right.
There's a 10-foot pole, and I ain't touching it.
Okay. We're going back to where my question was. What if, on it's a 3rd tier cable channel, I believe. I think that's what they say it falls under, because it's like if you buy your package on cable, I don't know who still has cable, but somebody out there does. It's not like it's like the 2nd or 3rd tier up before you get Fox Sports 1 included. It's not the basic cable. It's not there generally.
Well, it was just in my YouTube package because
YouTube just gives you what they can get.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
And I would even have that probably if I could get Raw and SmackDown on the DVR and
100%
without it. And the fact that I've tried to drop TV and there are other people here. We had a fight last night, Nick, and I said, she goes, give me a minute to calm down. And I sat outside the bedroom door for 4 hours waiting on her to calm down.
What happens?
And, she was asleep.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't tell her to calm down, damn it.
And you didn't go back in there until you were like, wait, can I go back in now? Anyway.
No, I didn't. I waited on her to come out because there was no food in the bedroom. And eventually she'd get hungry.
Eventually she'd come out. So if they break 1 million, I want to ask the question, tappedoutpod@gmail. This is the interactive part of the program, folks. Is it a testament to the brand being so hot? Is it the Bloodline story because they teased, that, hey, they're going to be there. They're going to set
Roman's
the
going
rules.
to be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like what? Like that's it. That's the third part. Like, or what? Why? Because that's a Friday. My thing is if Dynamite, and it's the brand and there's a history and whatever. If they pull on a third tier channel on a Friday night, more than Dynamite pulls on Wednesday, this is the week Dynamite. By the way, prediction: Dynamite will draw more people this week than SmackDown, and it will be made out to be for weeks being told ratings don't matter and viewership doesn't matter. It'll be made into this huge thing, and I guarantee you, if it happens, Tony Khan will make a statement about it that they beat SmackDown this week.
No. I would be willing if you combined all of AEW's 3 television shows this week and paired it up against SmackDown on Fox Sports 1.
Oh no, they're going to beat it. No, I'm telling you, I'll make a bet with you. I bet you Dynamite beats SmackDown this week.
No.
All right, Myron's going to shave his entire goatee off.
No, I'm not. I've been working on this too long. I've been using special conditioner on it. I'm not shaving this off.
All right.
It's the nicest.
I was going to use a Manscaped. I was going to run right into a Manscaped promo.
I'll shave. Okay. Well, I know. We'll go run the Manscaped commercial and let me.
No, we're not going to run the commercial. I'm just telling you that I think that I was going to. I was going to segue.
You're going to put your beard on there too.
My beard or the goatee? That's two different things. I said your goatee because that's all you had. I'll shave the beard back off, but I get to keep the goatee.
No, that ain't how that's going to work. You take that beard off. You take that beard off like I do underpants. About twice a week. I'm going to tell you, it won't beat it. I'm going to tell you,
it will.
I'm going to tell you can add Rampage to the Wednesday night show, and it's still not going to beat it. It will. It won't.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's going to.
I will wager you $20.
And we're not allowed to legally bet on the air. Federal regulations. We're not going to bet on the air. But you can bet me.
You was willing to get this lovely goatee I have.
That wasn't fine. That wasn't money. That wasn't money.
It's money to me. Everybody says it makes me look slimmer. So I was going to cut my belly hair into a goatee. See if that would slim down.
With a thing right at your peanut, right at your belly button kind of thing. Anyway, that's where the goatee goes right under the belly. Anyway.
Peanut.
Anyway,
I was banana.
I was talking about your belly button.
Oh, sorry.
You got an Audi that's like a banana?
No, I ain't got an Audi.
Okay, I'm saying.
I can't see the bottom of it.
Okay.
like that.
So what we do see,
thing.
Let's go back to things we can see. Clearly, we see out of this bloodline angle. When we look, I think we've all seen it coming for a while. Jey Uso is the one who comes out of the storyline like a made man, right?
Bump Jimmy off the television. Is he really hurt? If he's not really hurt, it was a great decision. If he is really hurt,
if he ain't hurt, his feelings are. No, I'm kidding.
They did a good job by hurting him.
Hold on. I want to cut you off for because I want to ask you a question. Bully Ray brought this up on Busted Open, and I wanted to see your take. WWE is not big on dusty finishes. It's a two-part, so you got to let me get it all the way through.
I don't think anybody in Georgia is either.
What? Now listen, here's the thing. He did say, however, sorry, I know I was trying to get past that. I couldn't. He said, if there ever was a time for WWE to use a dusty finish, he had him beat, the referee had his back turned, and then, by the time he turns around, boom, blam, bloom, and then the baby face gets screwed. He's like, SummerSlam is the perfect time for a dusty finish to Jey versus Roman. You know why? Because it makes for the fact, because they don't use them a lot for one. They were overused in WCW. That was, in NWA, that was kind of part of the problem.
Yeah.
They don't ever really use them.
Yeah.
So the point being, Jey gets a pin. The fans all see it. He gets a singles 1-on-1, through 3
in a title match
without actually getting the 1, 2, 3. because the referee's not going to see it. He's going to have him down, and the fans are all going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. And then by the time everything gets broke, whatever, then Roman gets the win. Folks, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. The word on the street is that it's Roman versus Cody at 40. At Mania 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll have to explain. We'll have to get that part over next so I can quit doing that shit. Doesn't work for me. But
I love it. You just got to put a little bass into it, Myron. Let your sack drop a little bit and get a little, yeah.
My sack is sitting in this chair. It's very comfortable, but it's very supportive.
My question, we all don't think, like a majority of people, would you rather see Jay win, Dusty finish, he looks like he wins, but he doesn't win, so we move on to Cody, or do you got another idea? Like, those would be, like,
that's what I would do. But I ain't taking that belt off Roman. I saw in Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated booked this. They said, we ain't going to put that belt on Cody because we're making too much money with Roman. Sports Illustrated said they made the right decision keeping the belt on Roman. So what I do is I set that up. Jay gets him. He beats him, but he doesn't beat him. He keeps that belt till Mania. Cody either beats him or loses again and turns heel. No, Cody is going to be turning heel.
I think that moment, let's think about this, because I do want, like, God, I could segue. Oh, I got to be careful. There's so many topics I'm about to branch into that I can't go off on. At WrestleMania, just think about how many people went off. They buried Cody. Oh, they should have beat Roman and blah, blah. All these things that they should have done. Think about all of the things that we would not have gotten if Roman was not champion. Because what do they always say? Then what? Like, where would we, if Cody had won that night, then what?
Cody's better in the position he's at. He's a fan favorite. He's an underdog babyface. He's on a different television show helping it. They didn't need him in that spot. You got Roman over here. Nick, how did your investment in WWE stock go?
It's doing quite well. I'm not going to give away numbers. It's going to go quite well.
But isn't it at the highest it's ever been?
Yeah.
Okay. If they get 3 million YouTube views on a video, it's a big deal. It's doing great. They picked the right decision.
I don't want a fantasy book.
Bookers.
I don't want to. You're a backdoor booker.
You're a backdoor booker.
I want fantasy booking. tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Send your hate mail. My question is, here's maybe what I would do. How about, we're already seeing the decline in the pieces. Let's have something happen to where the deterioration continues to where nobody's left at Mania in Philly. I think this gets a great reaction, by the way. I could be wrong. I probably am. It's just what I would like. So I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm saying I would enjoy this. I think this would be cool. What if he's lost Jimmy and Jay. Solo helps him at SummerSlam. So we move on. He doesn't defend again until Survivor Series or something like that. Like, he's not, they all kinds of other pieces along there. Eventually he has to lose Solo. The only piece he has left is the Wise Man. And in Philly, the home of ECW, Paul turns, Cody turns, and that is when you get the final knife in the back to Roman. And that's when you officially have Cody dethroned. Because then you can go from one heel right into the next one.
Oh, and you a bad, bad man. You are evil if you go with Paul Heyman and you turn on Roman. The
problem is I think that night he probably gets cheered that night. In Philly, they probably cheer him. But after that, yes.
Yeah. And then Roman goes off into the sunset to make some movies positively in a good spot. popular. I mean, nobody's ever going to beat Bruno Sammartino.
No.
Okay. I like it the way it is. I like that plan, Nick. I like that just the way you wrote it.
Yeah. I think it's a good way, but look, it's not like obviously we always talk about nothing's perfect, but I mean,
I put that way above Vince Russo, almost all the way to Cornette. It's so good.
Well, maybe. But look, there is another topic we got to talk about, and I see this. And by the way, look, it started with some controversy with Kevin Nash. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole too far. I do want to just talk about it a little bit. Kevin Nash saying that like LA Knight was nothing more than a ripoff of Austin and Rock. He's not completely wrong, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? Kind of LA Knight responded in the sense of, okay, well, they were the hottest two guys when I was in high school, so consciously, subconsciously, I probably do mimic them and, probably would make the most sense, right? Yeah, makes the most sense. Nash still comes back and was like, I'm not backing down from it because if he was so great or whatever, why'd he never get over anywhere else? And what was our answer, Myron?
What's that?
The Machine.
Dude, they put you over. They put you over. If you're in the right spot, I mean, he was over in NWA, but there's only so big a stage.
He was over, and Eli Drake was over in Impact.
But there's only so big a stage.
Exactly.
What you gonna do? Get over with a company that only has so many people watch it? You're gonna get over in a company that can fill up Center Stage in Atlanta, but can't fill up Madison Square Garden and sell out Madison Square Garden? But you put a machine behind you and you're super over. It's all relative. I mean, and where did Kevin Nash, did he invent all those moves?
That's what we joked about. Like, hey, I remember Sid Vicious doing power bombs before Kevin Nash was around.
Was he the first person to put grease in his hair?
The sidewalk slam, there were guys doing that before he got there doing that. I mean, just saying. Here's my thing. I love, believe it or not, I'm a big, especially of his podcast. I dig that podcast. Click this. But look, and I don't even think this is a disagree thing. It's just his opinion. He doesn't like him. But look, LA Knight is over because he's being exposed. I think let's say in Impact he was getting over to 60% of the fan base. What is the percentage of over, right?
But
if you're getting over, when you move to Smackdown, then all of a sudden, even if you get 60% of that audience, it's just a bigger number. So he's over. Now, here's my knock. I've said this, and I'm not going down this rabbit hole too far. I don't know when this age started. We contemplated like off the air. Let us know when you think this started. tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Was it what? Or was it if you smell, like catchphrases, right? Ric Flair's woo was over. But there was a phase where I asked Myron, and I'm going to ask anybody that's listening, tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Like, my argument was, Seth Rollins is spectacular as a wrestler, by the way. But yeah. But is he as over, or is his song over?
Oh, they sang it for like 18 minutes in Europe.
Yeah. But my thing was, here was one of the ones that was like, I said, because Daniel Bryan's over. Yes, 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 yes. I think the fans like doing yes, yes, yes. And this is terrible to say, more than they actually like loved Daniel Bryan. They loved Daniel Bryan because he was an interactive show.
No personality at all.
I disagree. I think I like the heel character. I do. My point, though, because the real question is, are those things where you could do sing along? Is that over more than the actual character themselves? I don't know. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing.
Hey, look. Some people want work rate. Some people want stories. Some people want lucha. Some people want Japanese.
All
Some
right.
people want
You pushed me.
Canadian.
You're pushing me. I gave you a quote that I said off the air that I didn't want to say on the air. And you're going to push me till I say it, aren't you?
Push. Go ahead, tell me.
No, I said, so I did put it on a post. I commented on somebody's thing last week. If the people don't care, then the moves don't mean anything.
Exactly.
I will stand by that 100%. If they don't care about your character, you could get out there and be like the best technical wrestler in the world, and it's not going to matter.
Man, Ricochet is great.
Oh, do you want me to book that one? We talked about the Ricochet Logan Paul segment.
Now, I like Ricochet a lot.
Love Ricochet. However, if it had been me, again, not saying it's the right thing to do, and then, look, hindsight's 20/20. I'm no genius. Hell, I'm an idiot most of the time. Ask my wife; she'll tell you. Point being was Ricochet with a mic, not his strong point. It was better than like melatonin on Monday, like when he started talking. I was like, dude, I would have just had him come out, act like he was going to talk. Logan Paul interrupt him, say a bunch of stuff, him do that flip thing right out to the floor, confront him, say like one or two lines, and then the shit's on and they start throwing punches and stuff. That's a better use of Ricochet than giving him a mic, because that's not his strong point.
Give it to Miz, Mike.
Yeah, let Logan Paul do. Let him talk. And by the way, I have moments where he's not the strongest promo on the planet, but everybody hates him, so his promo doesn't have to be. So that's kind of the problem.
You all play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. If a guy can't wrestle and he can talk, let him talk. Don't make him wrestle. If a guy can wrestle but he can't talk, let him wrestle.
Yeah.
How many was it? 3 tool players? Is that what we're going to call it? Or 5 tool players in sports now? How many times is a complete guy going to come across in wrestling anymore? How many times are you going to get a guy that can do everything?
I think we're going to talk about AEW here in a second, but one of the things I think we see, the difference between great matches and really good matches, and even great matches, but really good matches with good stories, great stories, a la the Bloodline. That's the difference between 800,000 and 2.4 million, or 2. Let's go to Raw where it's closer to 2 million, 1.8, whatever that is. That's the casual audience that cares about a story more than they care about moves. I am going to bite my tongue. There's a whole thing I wanted to talk about people like the people that love wrestling matches, like great wrestling. That'll be behind the paywall. It's going to be, I'll cut this video this week where I discuss about my thoughts on how the hell did we even get here, right? I have a theory. Well,
thinking of his theory, look at Austin Theory. They keep giving him the ball, and he's not ready yet. LA Knight, they gave him a little bit of football, and he took off with it. Matt Riddle, they keep trying, and he gets a little bit. He gets some yardage.
Yeah.
You got to be there. You got to have those tools. You got to have all the tools, and that's where LA Knight took it. He had to look. He could wrestle. He could talk. He got himself over.
Yeah. Even if he is just a cosplay Rock Austin, that's okay. We love him. Yeah. But Myron, speaking of cosplay, big announcement. We talked, we shared some of that information last week. Here again, this week, we want to remind you about the big event heading down to Augusta, CannaCon 2023. Check out our friends over CannaCon. Hey, Augusta, have you heard the big news? September 30th, CannaCon is coming right there to 90 Millage Road, right there in Augusta. That's right. That's the American Legion, Post 63, right down the road. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's part of the big chunk of the festivities. Don't forget, however, at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., live concert will be by Radio Cult right there in the building as well. What's going on this year? Great stuff, including for the first time ever in Georgia. Do you remember the crazy movie back when we were kids, Maximum Overdrive? The Green Goblin head that was there, right there on the 18-wheeler, will be, for the first time ever, it will be there. Yes, the original prop from the movie will be right there at CannaCon. Also, look, CannaCon is really famous for its cosplay championship, and for the first time ever, they're going to take it to a whole nother level. Not only will second and third place get trophies, first place will be crowned with the CannaCon Cosplay Championship belt. That's right, championship belt for the for the big winner. But hey, look, don't worry about it. Look, the kids are also going to be, they're not going to be left out. They got a cosplay specifically for the kids, and they will have a champion as well. And for the first time ever, there will be a Fans Choice Award, like a Fans Choice Prize. So you, the fans, will actually determine one of the winners as well. Special guests are Radio Cult, Kelly Graham, Randall Bishop, Specs Thomas, and many, many more. All of that's going down right there at CannaCon, September 30th, 90 Millage Road, Augusta, Georgia. That's right there at the American Legion. You definitely don't want to miss out. CannaCon 2023 is coming to Augusta, Georgia. That's right, man. Big event, September 30th there in Augusta. CannaCon. Listen, little bird. Go ahead. I'll let you ask.
No. Say what you want to say. I'm interested.
So, I had some people reach out to me, and there's one surprise candidate I think that's going to be in this cosplay contest that reached out to me this week. I refuse to give the names. I'm not going to spoil it because that's not for my place to do. But I'm telling the cosplay guys, bring your A game, because I know somebody who's going to be there who says they want that belt. That literally is their goal. They want that belt. So game on to the cosplayers.
I will be cosplaying as James Caleb Kitchens' shoes. It's going to take a while to finish the costume. I've been working on it for weeks and weeks. So if you haven't seen his shoes, look into it.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of shoes, I saw that New Balance makes a Croc now that looks like my shoes that you could wear. And kids were teasing me saying like they found my new shoes that I could wear them with socks. The New Balance white Crocs with the little blue silver swoosh.
I've known this man for like 12 years. I've never seen him with his shoes off. I've traveled the roads with this man all around.
Fun story before we break into the AEW talk. My wife of 11 years, the other night, I kid you not, Myron, we were sitting on the couch and my foot was hurting, and I took my shoes off, and the first thing she said to me, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "You took your shoes off. What's wrong?" I was like, "Oh, that's not a good sign, is it?" That's not a good sign at all. Oh, it was. And
there's a famous story about the time Nick was ambushed in a hotel room, and no one understood the fact that Nick was asleep, but he still had his shoes on when it happened.
Hey, I had my boots on before we started working. It didn't take me long to get my boots on. So, anyway, let's go ahead and move into some of the AEW talk, Myron. Look, the big news this week was this whole pay-per-view conversation. And, man, did that spiral in all kinds of different directions.
Oh, yes.
For lots of reasons.
We just talked about it, and Disney turned in. Then we talked about who was going to buy Disney. AI took over. Writer's strike. Holy sh!
That conversation spun us into about a 45-minute conversation. We don't have 45 minutes to get into it again.
And you're kind of lucky, I hope.
Yeah, most people are lucky. So, the big quotes of the week, by the way, Myron, whose job is that? We were trying to figure that out. Like, what guy at what news website is sitting around, like, digging through podcasts and saying, like, oh, that's the story, and, like, write an old article, like, I need 500 words. He transcribes 300 words out of the podcast, dumps it in, and writes an intro and an exit. Bam! There's your article for the wrestling website. Anyway, sorry, that was.
It's only going to be read by people in their mother's basement, so it's not that big a deal.
Actually, that's not true because they're going to pay for ads so they could push it on Facebook too. So there'll be common people that read it too. So anyway, the big story was Bischoff believes. By the way, if you follow us on Facebook or TikTok, I gave you the number last week, right? Like we talked about how much. We talked about how.
Oh, I thought you were looking for a TikTok number.
Discovery and Warner Brothers, like I said, look, I think they own a piece of them. This is the number I hear they own of them. Here's the thing. So I think Eric Bischoff's conclusion was correct, but I think the path was incorrect, if that makes any sense. How he got to that decision. Essentially, what he believes is oh, well, they want more pay per views, so obviously they own a piece of the company because they want to, more of the revenue, so they got to own a piece.
Monetize.
The only thing I said to why I disagreed with that statement was, well, don't they own Bleacher Report Live? So if they ran more pay-per-views, even if they didn't, that's the thing. Do I think they do? Yes. But even if they did not own a piece of the company, if they ran more pay-per-views, they would make more money because they own the company. They own the streaming service that they're running the pay-per-views on. So that's why I said I agree with the conclusion, but I think the path at which he got there is a little flawed. Not that that's a horrible thing. But now let's go to the meat of it, the monthly pay-per-view model.
Oh, yes, yes.
I wanted to ask the question of, is it even a good idea? Like, do you think it's a good idea at all to even go to the monthly pay-per-views?
Well, do you have the infrastructure for it? Because, the WWE didn't start with monthly pay-per-views. They ran for a long time.
They started after WCW was the first one to go to the monthly. WWE followed suit.
Yeah, it was quarterly. Well, one, there was no pay-per-views. Then it was a yearly pay-per-view. Then eventually it went to a quarterly pay-per-view. And then...
Actually, you know what's jacked up when you think about it? I mean, originally, because you were like, it's Mania, Survivor Series, and Rumble basically were your big, in my opinion. Like, I know SummerSlam, but like the big ones, right? Think about that. Survivor Series was Thanksgiving. Rumble was like, they were all three of those they were actually within like a 6-month, window when you think about it. Like, actually, depending on when WrestleMania was held, it could have been 5. Almost like a 5-month window. So, like, it wasn't even quarterly in the beginning. They kind of just had this is the big, SummerSlam would obviously come along and kind of spread them out a little more. But, yeah, so even then, it was almost like they were cherry picking the markets of when they thought they were the hottest, that they could make the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, AEW runs every 3 months, basically. Let's just quarterly, and you're paying $49.59 whatever for the pay-per-views. Can you? Again, I asked that. Can you do that for 12 straight months?
A subscription service is the only way, in my opinion, to do that profitably. Because you remember back in the day when you bought 12 pay-per-views for $50 a piece. Okay, that was stupid. I did it. You did it. That's $600 a year versus you pay $5 a month for Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
I pay $10. So we're paying basically a fifth. I pay a fifth. You pay a tenth of what you used to pay for it a year.
Yeah.
I don't know if AEW fans will pay $50 a month for 12 a year. Do you make them do you make like a $5 or $10 pay-per-view for those months? I don't think that kind of revenue doesn't justify it.
Do you follow an in your house model where they're like $29.99 in the months in between the big one? Or
I don't know.
Or whatever.
Are they trying to get a subscription based service? Are they trying to generate whatever they're going to have to generate more content in order to justify something like that?
So what was your theory? Real quick, we'll give the synopsis version of what we discussed.
I was trying to say I thought it was going to go on Max because that was, to me, the easy. Generate all the content because right now nobody's got content. Content's going to dry up in a couple of weeks with the writers and the actor strike going on. Okay? Think about it. You can't make new television. All you got, sports and news. You ain't getting anything else done. Okay? You ain't going to get any TV shows made, the new ones. You got reruns. You ain't going to get any movies made.
Pause. How pissed off are you that you saw they paused production of Deadpool 3 because of this strike?
I didn't see the other two.
Jiminy Christmas.
Whatever. I'm behind. I forget shit too. I might have seen them.
You've seen them, you don't remember it.
It happens. But so they got to have content. So content all of a sudden went up in value because wrestling doesn't stop being made. Wrestling can constantly be made, but your thought was maybe they don't want to put it on Max. Maybe it's not for Max. Maybe it's not Max content. They own Bleacher Report. Why not just keep it there? You think Bleacher Report could survive as a
Yeah.
month-to-month content provider?
I, I mean, sure, why not? I mean, if they're doing it quarterly, what's the difference between a monthly one? I, look, my big theory is, look, and it's something I've picked up from Bischoff. I'm not going to lie to you. This is something that he said that made a lot of sense with me when he's like, everybody's in love with the, hey, look, Max getting all of the content. The problem is, he was talking about how like there's program directors for networks and like you don't think about there could be, I'm not saying there is. What if there's a different network, person like director? Obviously TNT, TBS, look, they clearly are hand in hand at some point. They have a vision. They loved AEW and it's smart for their strategy, whatever, to go ahead and, lock them up for when they did and get a couple shows. However, the Max is a bigger, it's an even, like, people don't realize the Max, the streaming service, which we both have. So I'm very familiar with it, by the way. And you got to remember, they also, during the Discovery merger, like, it killed. We don't need Discovery anymore. We killed the Discovery app because we used to watch like Deadliest Catch on that. Well, now it's on Max. So we basically killed our Discovery, app subscription because the main show that we watched over there is on here. Why is that important? Because there's more than one entity on Max. I know AEW, the All Access show, the reality show, whatever you want to call it, it's on there. But the wrestling, what if? This is always my favorite, right? The what if. What if that doesn't? What if AEW live wrestling doesn't fit the model? Like doesn't fit their vision of what the Max is?
But that's never happened to TBS and TNT before. They've always loved having wrestling on their network and on their products.
But there was also some people with a different vision that wanted WCW fucking gone off of their network.
Oh, yeah.
So
wrestling,
it's not as simple as that.
Wrestling ebbs and flows in popularity in TV executives' offices, is what you're telling me.
I don't even know. It's the person in the chair, the people, like the vision. Like they may not look, because it's like, even like they were joking about advertising. Like people approached him about condoms for WCW. He said we didn't even take it seriously and go far because you got to worry about what does Castrol Motor Oil or what does Slim Jim think about us running condom. They may pull out.
Snap it to a Trojan.
Well, his thing was, what if Slim Jim leaves you as an advertiser because you're airing condom things? What if the guy who runs the Discovery Channel is pissed off that you're running? And I'm not saying he would.
Hold on. What a Discovery Channel guy would be pissed off for spitting, bleeding in crowd, weapons or projectiles in crowd, taking drinks or food from guests in crowd, physical contact crowd.
Could be a million things.
Okay. I was just reading a list of stuff they can't do anymore.
Right. So if we're going to head there next. That's the next thing I want to talk about.
But to me,
what if they just don't fit the vision? It could be that simple.
What if they're just trying to polish the vision a little bit? Maybe they're trying to get themselves a little bit more friendly with these new. Do they care enough about people's injuries, or do they want to be more polished like the WWE is and get rid of some of these dangerous spots?
Look, a lot of them. Here's the funny thing is when I looked at them, my response was good. I mean, there's nothing really on there that's shocking. Yes. By the way, I'm sure that for the most part, like a lot of that stuff, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really remember some of this happening anyway, but maybe it was an accident here and there. But I get it. Hey, if you're going to do a crazy spot, you got to let us know so we can decide whether we're going to let it happen or not. That's basically what I interpreted. There was a couple things, that were like, okay, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. But for the most part, it's like, hey, if you're going to try something crazy, you got to run it by. By the way, you want to know the good reason you might want to do that? Hey, if you're going to do a crazy spot and you're damn near going to put your life in danger, how about you let us know so we make sure a camera's on you good?
This is the asylum taking the control back from the inmates. Okay? This is getting a nice, polished product prepared for more consumption. I just think they've seen the writing on the wall. They know they're going to have to eventually one day get their product in a better spot for more marketability, for more people to watch. You can't continue to put that indie mud show bullshit on television and expect to get an audience outside of your core audience. If you want to make it marketable, you have to increase the appeal of it.
Yes, yeah. No, I see what you're saying, and I'm not saying, but I just think, like I said, I think the problem, much like our country, we only see things through the vision of our eyes.
Yes.
And we see things as the vision, like through the vision of a wrestling fan.
Yes.
So we just think, oh, it'd be great. Just put them on the on Max, and they'll be great. Like, okay, but that's like going like, well, they also own whatever. They should just slap it on that. Hey, they also own Discovery Channel. Like, why don't we just put the All Access show on Discovery? It's not the where they want it to be. I mean, and it's they're higher up people making. Look, whether we agree with them or not, they're just people that are higher up making decisions.
Well, they got. I quit watching the History Channel because it's shit about aliens nonstop now. They got a bad vision there. So you don't want to create that kind of vision. If that's what you've got,
it's either aliens or Pawn Stars.
Okay. Yes. So do you want to turn the Max into aliens and Pawn Stars like they've done over at the History Channel?
I don't. That's above somebody else's pay grade. But
exactly. Exactly. It's your vision, and if you were in charge, there's a reason why Bob Iger makes $75,000 a day.
Don't even get me started on that. We're not going to have that conversation about like the whole like, well, we just made too many Disney things. You think? How long ago did we tell you that? But you were damn near determined you were going to milk that thing out until the fans pushed back on you.
Oh, how about this one, Nick? Let's get a quick one. The new Star Wars movies are going to go away from George Lucas's vision. The new Star Wars movies aren't going to focus as much on the Skywalker family. The George Lucas movies focus too much on the Skywalker family. What else were there? I mean, the Skywalker. We didn't know who the hell Anakin Skywalker was, at all until Return of the Jedi. And then they made 3 movies and a Clone Wars about it.
Listen, it's all subjective. So creative is subjective, a la Jeff Jarrett, stolen and But look, lots of stuff there, lots to unpack there. But we're gonna unpack shirts because it's that time of the week, Myron.
Oh,
for the Pro Wrestling Tees Shirt of the Week. And this week, listen, we're going back in the Wayback Machine. I strolled across this shirt by mistake and was like, "That's my shirt this week." He doesn't even know. But I absolutely fell in love with this shirt the second I saw it.
It's classic.
It is a classic Gunnar Miller. It's a throwback shirt. So I'm sure hopefully he appreciates it. I was watching some Top Gun stuff. That's kind of why when I saw it, I was like, dude, I've totally got to put this up this week. So go check it out, ProWrestlingTees.com. Look up Gunnar Miller. It's got there's a couple different color variations, but I'm fat, so I like the black ones. Because that's typically what we like. So check it out. If you're slim, there's other colors there that you can check out as well. But hey, what do we always tell them, man? Every week when we put up the the T-shirt of the week, don't just buy that one. Buy multiple ones. Buy a couple from ProWrestlingTees.com. And this week, Gunnar Miller is the shirt of the week.
My last T-shirt, Pro Wrestling T-shirt, was like 8 or 9. My order was like 8 or 9. Now some of them are gifts for local listeners and friends of the show, but I swear I just can't stop. It's like Christmas. I go in there and try to buy everything they got, and then I have to just pick through them and say, no, I'm not gonna get that one, but I got to get that one, and I got to get more time.
Oh, I meant to tell you were supposed to order one of the women's tank tops for Alex Andrews.
Nobody told me that.
I know. I'm kidding. He knows. Inside joke.
Oh.
I want to get him one of the ladies' tanks and have him sporting that for us. So I think that's a good look. He's got curves. Anyway. All right, look. Indy stuff this week. Look, it was my anniversary. I did not.
Oh, I didn't know it was your anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, it was on Friday. It was our anniversary. That's why I didn't do any shows this week. We discussed going down. I tried to talk her into a weekend trip to Savannah. And thought maybe we could swing by Augusta on Saturday night. She didn't fall for that one. She was smart enough to figure out what I was trying to do. But I mean, listen. So we didn't get out to any shows this week for that reason.
I had a solo plan to try to go to SCI, but I've had some health issues with my arthritis. So my wife had talked me out of going anywhere. But then they had that free show that was going to go in Winder, so I'm like, let's go to the Mexican restaurant in Winder, which is about 45 minutes from here. But and then
you were going to pass like a dozen Mexican restaurants to get to that Mexican
no,
restaurant.
I would have passed 24 Mexican restaurants to get to that Mexican restaurant easily. Because I mean, everybody in Central Georgia loves Mexican restaurants. Yeah. I eat probably.
It looked like it was going to be a great show. The card was really good.
So I mean, I missed out all kind of wrestling this week. But next week, man, I'm super stoked. Yeah, my damn dentures are flopping loose. Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, the Iron Man show. We got an Iron Man match, Nick. Oh God, Nick Halen, Adrian Hawkins.
It's going to be a great match. I don't know that those two could put on a bad match.
No.
Hey, do you know what helps us, by the way?
What's that?
I'm gonna be an ass and repeat something I said earlier. Do you know why it's going to be so great?
What's that?
It's not just because they're going to go out there and wrestle great. Because the people care.
Yeah.
That helps, guys.
Yeah. Adrian used to be a hated heel. Now he was a babyface. At their big show, he fought 3 of them. And then there was this Nick Halen guy who's just everybody hates him.
Yep.
And it's storyline, likable baby faces, hateable heels, put them together, and then add good wrestling. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. If the storyline, if they care and they're invested, the matches are so much better. The analogy I will use before we go out, I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say it again. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock in Toronto.
18.
Watch it with no sound. Fucking atrocious. Watch it with sound. One of the great, arguably, we've made lists before. My favorite WrestleMania match probably of all time. I think it's and what I mean by that, I think it's the epitome of WrestleMania. So if it ain't,
actually, they changed that entire match, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, lots of it changed on the fly. I mean, and it's great. I think it's a great match, and it's why. It's because the fans cared. So,
I'm a sports entertainment guy. I really would have changed this to Tapped Out Sports Entertainment Podcast because I'm a sports entertainment guy. I can't lie.
We should call our show Sports Entertainment Center. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Da-da-da. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, look, if we do change our name, the first place we'll let you know is YouTube. YouTube.com, Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast, Tapped Out Podcast Network. Hunt us down, search us down. Like we always tell you, like the page, subscribe to the page, turn your notifications on. Hell, even become a member, just like that over on the Patreon page as well. All the extras, all the articles that the Midnight Rider's sending out, all that good stuff. But look, we fully understand. There are lots of you guys. Look, it's every week I say this. By the way, Myron, did you hear Stitcher's going away?
I heard something about that the other day.
Yeah, I heard it already, and I'm like, that just floors me. So if you are a Stitcher listener, don't worry about it, because trust me, we're everywhere. In a second, I'll explain why we're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. If it's a podcast platform, I promise you, we're probably there. And you know why, Myron? Boop. Right below, you'll see Libsyn. Go over to Libsyn.com and sign up using the promo code TAPPED. Promo code TAPPED at Libsyn.com. God, they make it so easy.
I even heard of some of the places they put us. I'll be like, what? They put us where? And then Myron, I go look it up.
I Googled our show one time. I was looking for something.
Now, this was...
And no. This is not like that story. I got to follow up on that story. I want to punchline that one day. But I Googled this, and it was like on a podcast platform that I'm like, I don't know what the hell this even is. And I looked, and yes, we were there. And I'm like, I have never even heard of this podcast platform. But we're there because Libsyn does all of it for you, man. You upload, and I swear they make it so easy. And it's just then you're on every platform that's out there as far as podcasts. So if you have a podcast and you want to get started, first thing I always tell people, we've tried others for like a hiccup, and it literally was a hiccup because it was a problem and a pain in the,
I cried the entire time we were off Lipson. I mean, seriously, it was nothing but a headache.
Yeah.
Nothing but a headache, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was so hard to work with. Oh.
Yeah, nothing like Lipson. Just so easy to work with. Lipson.com. Use the promo code TAPPED. Sign up, and they'll give you up to 2 months for free. Trust me. It's a great way to start because we like free when we start. That is 100%.
Yeah.
So, anything else you got, man? Before
no, I want y'all to if y'all buy my Facebook page, slip over there and follow the link to order you a Crystal Rose t-shirt. She is pre-ordering them right now. Great, I'd say she's probably the toughest women's wrestler in Georgia right now.
Ooh.
So I'm telling you, I've seen her do some just vicious stuff.
All right. Well, I know another woman that might disagree with you and might want to throw hands with you for that statement. But
now, please, nobody throw hands with me. I got all kind of issues. I'm old. I got issues.
He's old and brittle, folks. Don't come at him on that.
I got a walker down here in the basement from somebody else. I might start using it. Me and Thelma are gonna have a race around the Boys and Girls Club.
Hey, be careful. You might throw out a hip. Yeah.
Me and Mooney are gonna have a dance off.
That's the one that we will put exclusive behind the paywall on the night we get at the Boys and Girls Club when we get you versus Mooney in a dance off. That'll be right up there, epic, just like the Guardians of the Galaxy dance off. He doesn't remember, folks, so don't let him.
God damn, this amnesia's a bitch.
All right, man. Well, that's all I got. You got anything else before we get out of here?
I'm gone, man.
All right. What's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing and you've got nothing, what time is it?
It's time to tap out.